Namaste. Okay, so we will start. Gurureva gatihi gurumeva bhaje gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave guroh paramam shishurasmi guroho matirasti gurau mama pahi guro Saraswati namastestu veena pustakadharini hamsavahana marudhe vidyadanam kurushvame. So it's an important announcement today. So we got this approval for writing the Pathamala Pariksha directly. Level 4, you can write level 4 directly if you have passed Kovida Pariksha of Samskrita Bharati athava Turiya Pariksha of Sura Saraswati Sabha. So if you have taken any of these and you have completed level 4 in these sabhas, you are eligible to take the Pathamala level 4 directly. Okay, so I will also put a message in the WhatsApp group regarding this. So and other details regarding the Pariksha, it will be given to you when the registrations are open. Okay, so Vyoma will take registrations on your behalf and you will be able to write the Pariksha. So more details will be shared when the registrations are open. Astu. So we continue with the Patha. So last class we started the Samasa. So Prayaha Subantayoho Madhye Eva Samasaha. So most probably it is only between two Subantas a Samasa can happen, right? So Samasa is Ekapadi Bhavanam. So you take multiple words, you put them together and form a single word, and normally it is only between the Subantas. Paraspara Anvitayoho Subantayoho Madhye Eva Samasaha Karaniyaha. So you can do a Samasa only between two words which are related to each other. So simply we can't take two words from a sentence and come up with a Samasta Pada. So we saw the example Bhavati Darshanam Rajnyaha Putraha Chaurasya Dhavati. So here between Rajnya and Putra there is no relation, right? The Putra is of Chora and Rajnya is, it's a different component in the sentence, right? So we can't make a Samasa. You can say Rajaputra, but it will give a very obsolete meaning. The meaning will be obsolete, right? So you will not get the right meaning that is intended by this, conveyed by this sentence. Samase jate prayena purvapade vibhaktehe ashravanam. Sorry, it's a blunder. This shravanam is written. So you don't hear the, let me share my screen one second. Sorry. So you don't hear the vibhakti in the purva pada. Okay. Let me share my screen. Sorry. So after you make a Samasa, you don't hear the vibhakti in the purva pada. Samase jate vibhakti hi yojaniya. So we also saw how to build a Samasa. So after taking two Pratipadikas, adding them together, you finally add a vibhakti and you make it as a Subanta, which is a Subanta, which is a pada, which is which can be used in a sentence. So we can't use the Pratipadika Rupa in the sentences. After adding the vibhakti, we use the Subanta in our sentences. So Samasa Padasya Nirmanam. So we saw the step. So we take the Pratipadika of the Purva Pada, Pratipadika of the Uttara Pada, and if there is an avakasha to do Sandhi, you have to compulsorily do the Sandhi, right? At this stage, Sandhi is compulsory because Samhita Samase Nitya. So we saw that. And you end up with a Pratipadika finally. And to that Pratipadika, we add the Vibhakti and we come up with the 21 forms which can be used in a sentence, right? So that is the Subanta. Now, Samasasya Prabhedaha. So till this we completed last class. So today we will see the different types of Samasa. Arthadrishtiya Samasaha Chaturvidaha. So according to the meaning. So always understand the meaning of the Samasta Pada can be very well understood from the sentence. Okay, so it is, now we simply see that we take two words, we join them and we finally study about the Samasta Padam. But in a sentence where we actually use the Samasa, only if we understand the meaning of what it conveys, what the Samasta Pada conveys in the sentence, we can come up with a right Vigraha Vakya. Okay, so with regards to the meaning, you have different types of Samasa. So these are the four main types of Samasa. Avyayi Bhavaha, Tatpurushaha, Dvandvaha, Bahuvrihihi. So at this level for Pathamala 4 we are covering the first three avyayi bhava, tatpurusha and dvandva. Okay, so we will not be studying more about the bahuvrihi, which is covered in the next level. So the first three types of samasa we will be studying in this level. So what is a lakshana? So we have a lakshanam, we have a definition. So what is an avyayi bhava? What is a tatpurusha? Right? So in one statement we say prayena purva padartha pradanaha avyayi bhavaha. So avyayi bhava is defined this way. Prayena purva padartha pradanaha. Okay, so we will see the artha of this later, I mean the next slide. Same way tatpurusha prayena uttara padartha pradanaha. Dvandva samasa prayena ubhaya padartha pradanaha, and bahuvrihi samasa prayena anya padartha pradanaha. So these lines they give kind of definition for these types of samasa. So we'll try to understand what this padartha pradana means. Okay, so somewhere we see purva pada, somewhere we see uttara pada, and we also see ubhaya pada and anya pada. So we will see what it means. Kaha pradhanaha pradartha. So what is that we call as pradhana? Pradhana means the mukhya, the main thing. Okay, so what is that? So how to identify? Samasta padat param kriya padam yojaniyam. So you take a samasta pada and you add some kriya pada, a meaningful kriya pada to it. Yasya padarthasya kriyapadena saha sambandha bhavati saha pradhanah pradartha. So what is a pradhana padartha? After adding a kriyapadam to the samasta pada, whichever we have two padas in a samasta pada, right? So we have a purva pada, we have a uttara pada. So whichever the purva or the uttara will go with the kriya, whichever takes an anvaya or whichever has got a more relationship, direct relationship with the kriya, that pada is called the pradhana padartha. So we'll see example. We take the samasta pada suryodayaha. So we will add a kriya padam. Suryodayaha bhavati. Okay, so suryodayaha bhavati. Now we'll see few more. Rama Lakshmanau is the samasta padam. So we say Rama Lakshmanau gacchataha. Rama Lakshmana, Rama and Lakshmana go. Take Rajaputraha. Rajaputraha hasati. You can add any kriya padam. Gacchati, hasati, right? Vishnu Bhaktaha. Vishnu Bhaktaha namati. So here I have added some kriya pada, some meaningful kriya padam to the samasta padam. Now Vyakarana Panditaha. Vyakarana Panditaha vadati. Okay, so we have added, the first part is done, we have added a kriya pada. Now in this sentence Suryodayaha bhavati, Suryaha bhavati va, Udayaha bhavati va. Now we are breaking the Suryodaya as Purva and Para, the Uttara pada, right? So we take the Surya component separately, we take the Udaya, and we are trying to find out which is more related to the Kriya. So now bhavati is the Kriya. So you have Surya and Udaya in your samasta pada. So which part of your samasta pada is related to your Kriya? Is it the Surya or it is the Udaya? So finally Udaya is what is meant, right? Udayaha bhavati is, it makes more sense. Surya and bhavati, they don't go together. So in Suryodayaha, the meaning of Udaya is pradhana. Okay. Say Vishnu Bhaktaha namati. So is Vishnu, the Purva Padam, is related to the Namati Kriya Pada, or the Uttara Pada Bhakta is related to the Kriya Padam. So we are checking that. Vishnuhu Namativa, Bhaktaha Namativa. Right? So if you see Purva Padam and Uttara Padam in Vishnu Bhakta, the Bhakta is more related to the Kriya Pada. Bhaktaha eva Namati. So Vishnu is not doing the salutation. It is a Bhakta of Vishnu who is doing the salutation. So Bhakta is the Pradhana Padartha. Rajaputraha hasati. So here, so Rajaputra has two components. One is the Raja and the Putra. Right? So is the Raja laughing or the Putra is laughing? So finally it is a Putra who is laughing. Why? By Rajaputraha hasati, we only mean that the son of the king is laughing. We are not talking about the king. Right? So Putraha hasati, that makes more sense. So here again, which is the Pradhana Padartha? The Putra. Vyakarana Panditaha vadati. So the speaking, the act of speaking vadati, is Vyakarana doing it or the Pandita doing? So two components here, Vyakarana and Pandita in the Samastapada Vyakarana Panditaha. So Vyakarana is not speaking, it is a Pandita who is speaking, right? So by Vyakarana Panditaha Vadati, we are only talking about that person, right? He is a scholar in Vyakarana, that is different, but he is that person who is speaking. So Pandita is a Pradhana Padartha. Okay, so this is how we find out of the Purva Padam and Uttara Padam which is the Pradhana, which is important or which is giving the main significance, right? In my sentence, what is my Samasta Pada meaning? Is it about the Uttara Padam or the Purva Padam? So in all these cases, if you see, it is the Uttara Pada which is Pradhana. So we say Uttara Padarthaha Pradhanaha. So when we saw the types of Avyaya, we saw Tatpurusha was Prayena Uttara Padartha Pradhanaha we saw, right? So these are all Tatpurusha Samasa. So by the definition of Samasa, we learn Avyayi Bhava means it is a Purva Padartha Pradhana. Then Tatpurusha means it is Uttara, the Lakshana is defined that way. So wherever the Uttara Padartha is Pradhana, we are categorizing them as Tatpurusha Samasa. So mostly if it is a Tatpurusha Samasa, the Uttara Pada is the Pradhana Padartha. And we also have this word Prayena. Why we add is like most probably it is this case, but we might have exceptions. Okay, so in all the Lakshana, in all the 4 Lakshanas, we have the word Prayaha or Prayena is added always, because in Samasa, everywhere you will have exceptions. Whichever Samasa you take, whichever category you take, there will always be one example which is an exception to that Niyama which was told for that Samasa, right? So for that purpose, we are adding the word Prayena, which means most probably, so 99%. Okay, so Uttara Padarthas are Tatpurushas. Now we'll see few more examples. Kashi Prayagam Gacchati. So Kashi Prayagam is a Kashi Prayagaha is a Samastapada, right? Kashi Prayago. So here we have Kashim Gacchati va Prayagam Gacchati, right? So are we saying that somebody is going to Kashi or are we saying that somebody is going to Prayaga? It is both, right? By Kashi Prayaga we mean both Kashi and Prayaga. This is the case like Rama Lakshmana, right? So we are talking about Rama also, Lakshmana also. In this case we have both the Padarthas are Pradhana. Panipadam prakshalayati. So panim prakshalayati, padam api prakshalayati. Okay, so prakshalanam is washing, cleaning, right? So pani is hand and pada is leg. So here by panipadam we take into account both the hand and the leg, right? So both padarthas are important. Rama Lakshmanau gacchataha. So now if you see with the kriya pada Ramaha gacchati, Lakshmanaha api gacchati. So both the words take Anvaya in the kriya, right? So both are related to kriya, both Purva Padam and Uttara Padam. Then we have, so these cases, so there are cases where we saw in the previous way, the previous examples, we saw that the Uttara Pada was Pradhana. In these 3 examples, we see that both the Padas are important, right? And Upavidyalayam Vasati. So Upavidyalayam is a Samasta Pada, which means Vidyalayasya Samipe. That is a Vigraha Vakya. So Upa Vasativa, Upa ityukte Samipa. Upa's artha here is like Samipa. So Samipe Vasativa, Vidyalayam Vasativa. So here the Upa goes in relation with the Kriya more than this Vidyalaya, right? So here the Purva Pada is Pradhana. So this way we classify. So the first 3 examples we call it Ubhaya Padartha Pradhana. So these are the Dvandva cases. So Dvandva Samasas, it is we saw the Lakshanam Ubhaya Padartha Pradhanaha, Dvandva Samasaha. So both Padarthas are important. Then it is a Dvandva Samasa. When we say Purva Padartha Pradhana, it is mostly Avyayi Bhava. Okay, again we might have an exception in Tatpurusha where something could be a Purva Padartha Pradhana. That is always there, the exceptions are always there. But the general definition as per the Lakshana given for each type of Samasa is this. So when we say Purva Padartha Pradhana, it is Avyayi Bhava Samasa. Prayena Uttara Padartha Pradhanaha Tatpurusha Samasaha. Prayena Ubhaya Padartha Pradhanaha Dvandva Samasa. Prayena Anya Padartha Pradhanaha is Bahuvrihi Samasa. Okay, so this is the general basic definition given to each type. So how do I know which Padartha is Pradhana? I have to simply add some Kriya Padam and try to find out if my Purva Pada is associated with the Kriya Pada or my Uttara pada is more closely associated with the Kriya padam. So that is how you find out. So we continue. Then, so now we have a vakya, Gokshiram Madhuram. So this is a vakyam. So we say Gokshiram Madhuram. Now, Goho Kshiram, Gokshiram. Okay, so the milk of the cow. Okay, so Gokshiram is a Samasta pada. Now we will try to find out what type it is. So this Gauhu or Go you say is a Purva pada. The Uttara pada is obviously Kshira, right? So we have Go on one side, Kshira on other side. Now Madhuram is given there. So it's like a Viseṣaṇa for this Go Kshira. So which is more related with Madhura? Is it the cow which is very sweet or the milk which is very sweet? Yes, finally the milk is what is more closely associated with Madhura. So we say Uttara padarthaha pradhanaha. So here again in Gokshira word, the Kshira, the Uttara padam is pradhana padartha. So this is a Tatpurusha compound. Okay, in Tatpurusha compounds, it is always Uttara padartha. It is prayena. Most probably it is Uttara padarthaha pradhanaha Tatpurusha samasaha. Okay, so we define that lakshanam that way based on which padartha is important. Okay. So finally, Samasa Lakshanam Prayena Purva Padartha Pradhanaha Avyayi Bhavaha. You should remember these 4 statements, very important statements. This is like defining what is an Avyayi Bhava, what is a Tatpurusha, or how those Samasta Padas look like. Okay. So Prayena Purva Padartha Pradhanaha Avyayi Bhavaha. Prayena Uttara Padartha Pradhanaha Tatpurushaha. Prayena Ubhaya Padartha Pradhanaha Dvandvaha. Prayena Anya Padartha Pradhanaha Bahuvrihihi. So we will now go into each type and see the examples. Okay. So first we will be taking up the Tatpurusha. Okay. So Avyayi Bhava is the lesson covered. Your 8th Patha in the Pustaka is on Samasa basics, and the next immediate Patha is on Avyayi Bhava, and later in the 11th lesson is your Tatpurusha. So we will be taking up the Tatpurusha first. Okay, so 11th Patha is Uttara Padartha Pradhanaha Tatpurusha Samasaha. So now, so you know Samasas are of 4 basic types, and within Tatpurusha, again we have the subcategories. Okay, so within Tatpurusha we have these 4 main subcategories, which is Samanya Tatpurushaha, Karmadharaya Tatpurushaha, Dviguhu, and Nai Prabhritayaha. Okay, so we have Samanya, Karmadharaya, Dvigu, and Nai Pravritya. So we will be studying all these 4. So this is the subcategories of Tatpurusha. So now forget about the other 3 types, Avebha, Bahuvrihi, Dvandva. We will now concentrate on the one type, which is Tatpurusha compound, which is we all know Prayena Uttara Padartha Pradhanaha Tatpurusha Samasaha. So mostly in Tatpurusha compounds, Uttara Padartha is the Pradhana Padartha. Okay, so we will do the first one, the Samanya Tatpurusha. So Prayena Uttara Padarthaha Pradhanaha Tatpurusha Samasaha. Samasta Padasya Lingam Uttara Padasya Anusarena Bhavati. Now we will come to the Lingam part. So how it ends, how that Samasa we know 2 Pratipadikas are taken, we add. Now to that Pratipadika, how should we decline? Whether it should be declined like Rama or Sita or Phalam, right? So what is the Lingam? So most probably the Uttara Pada, whatever is your Uttara Pada's Lingam, that will be taken as a Lingam for the entire Samasta Padam. Okay, this is for Tatpurusha Samasa. Samasta Padasya Lingam Uttara Padasya Anusarena Bhavati. If Uttara Pada is Pullinga, we take that entire Samasta Pada as Pullinga word. Uttara Pada is Napumsakalinga, take it as Napumsakalinga. Uttara Pada is Strilinga, then we take it. Okay, so there are rules. When you join 2 Pratipadikas, there are again lot of Vyakarana Niyamas, which will say, okay, we will remove this Nakara. So for example, this Maharajaha, right? So Mahan Raja, right? So we have Mahan Raja. When we have Mahan and Raja, we say Maharaja, right? We don't hear that Mahan, the Nakara, right? So some cases, I mean, such rules are also there. When you club together 2 Pratipadikas, there are Niyamas. Okay, so according to that, the Purva Pada will take shape. Okay, then the Lingam always based on the second word, the Uttara Pada. Prayah Purvapadam Visheshanam Bhavati Uttarapadam Visheshyam. Again, Prayah, most probably in such Tatpurusha. This is all about Tatpurusha compounds. The Purvapada will act like a Visheshana and Uttarapadam will act like a Visheshya. Okay, so we will try to bring in some kind of Visheshya Visheshana Bhava between the two padas in Tatpurusha compounds. Now we will, so this kind of definition or this kind of so normally in other Sabha exams or wherever we do the Samasa Adhyayanam, Samanya Tatpurusha especially, so we simply study how Purva Pada should be, how should be the Uttara Pada, and what are the rules, what kind of words can join together to form the Tatpurusha compound. So this is all we will study. Here there is one more, we are just digging into, digging little deep to find out, to learn something new. So we will learn about this Visheshana concept. Why are we treating two words in the Samanya Tatpurusha as Visheshanam and Visheshyam? Okay. Visheshyate anena iti Visheshanam. The very definition of the word Visheshanam. Hope you have all learnt about Visheshana and Visheshya, right? So Visheshanam means an adjective. Visheshya is a noun. So this Visheshanam will always describe this noun. So when I say Chaturaha Ramaha, right? So when I say Chaturaha Ramaha, Chaturaha is the Visheshanam, the adjective. Rama is the Visheshyam. So one is the qualifier and one is the qualificant. Okay, so the Rama is described by this word Chatura. So Chatura is adding an, it is giving an it's giving a specific meaning, or it's describing. Okay, it is describing my Visheshya, which is Rama. Okay, so normally what a Visheshanam does is Swarupa Katanam. So it gives something about the Rupa. Says Thulaha Gajaha. When I say Sthulaha Gajaha, it is bringing out the Swarupa of the Gaja. Or it could be a Vyavartanam. It can distinguish something from something. Say when I say Dirghaha Dandaha. So when I say a long stick, right? Probably there are a lot of sticks and you are saying bring that long stick. So which means you are distinguishing that stick using this attribute of the length, right? So this is the purpose of Visheshanam. Visheshanam is something which will qualify that, which will bring about some specific detail about the Visheshya. So this we have all learnt. So this is a basic definition of Visheshanam is Visheshyate anena. So that by which an object is distinguished is a Visheshana. So there are 10 Ramas in a class. I can say Dhavan Ramaha. So the one who is running, which means I am distinguishing that particular Rama from the other Ramas in the class. Okay, so this is what a Visheshanam, the basic purpose of using a Visheshanam is it is distinguishing something, some object among the rest. Okay, so that is Visheshana. Example, Chaturaha Balakaha, Dhavan Ramaha. Okay, so these words Chatura, Dhavan, these are the Visheshana which is bringing some specific detail, which is giving me some specific detail about my Balaka or that about that Rama, about the Visheshya. Okay. So this we have all learnt at an earlier stage, but something which you have not learnt is Visheshanani Dvividhani Bhavitum Arhanti. So this is something new. So Visheshanas can be of two types. Okay. One is the Samanadhikarana Visheshanani. So Samanadhikarana Visheshanas. So these are the common types. So till now the traditional the methods we have learnt what is a Visheshana. So Chaturaha Ramaha, all these the same, which are all in the same Vibhakti, right? So Chaturena Ramena, Chaturasya Ramasya. So we all know the rules for applying how to use a Visheshana in a sentence, right? So Visheshana will always carry the Linga, the Vibhakti and the Vachana of the Visheshya. So this is, they are normally we use in the same Vibhakti. Okay, so this is the normal ones we have learned till now, the common type of Visheshana. That is called the Samanadhikarana Visheshana. So there is one more type which is Vyadhikarana Visheshana. Okay, so Vyadhikarana Visheshana, this is definitely a rare term. So you don't see this everywhere. So we will see why we are learning about this Vyadhikarana Visheshana. So Vyadhikarana Visheshana means you are using a Visheshana in a different Vibhakti. Okay, so the Visheshya is in different Vibhakti. Visheshana is going to be in a different Vibhakti. Still, it is going to describe that Visheshya in some way. Okay, So Chaturaha Ramaha, by guna or by kriya in Dhavan Ramaha, some guna or kriya is brought out by that Viseṣaṇa, which is in the Samana Vibhakti as that of the Visheshya. In Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇa, again we are going to bring in relation between two words. Now the words are not going to be in same Vibhakti as we saw in the first case, the traditional Viseṣaṇas. The Viseṣaṇa will be in a different Vibhakti, the Visheshya is going to be in a different Vibhakti. Still, it will convey or it will add more detail or bring out some specific information about the Visheshya. So these kinds of Viseṣaṇas are called the Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇa. So in the word Samanadhikaranam, Vyadhikaranam, we see the word Adhikarana. Adhikarana means Adhara or Ashraya. So when I say Neelam Utpalam or take Chaturaha Ramaha, all these kinds of examples. So there is this Viseṣaṇa which is bringing out a quality. Okay, so it brings out the quality of Rama. Where is that quality seen? It is seen in Rama, right? So now if you see between Chatura and Rama, the Chaturata is seen in Rama. Okay, so both have the same Adhikarana, the same base, right? Same Ashraya. So Ramatva is also in Rama, Chaturata is also in Rama. When I say Sheetam Kshiram, okay, cold milk, that coldness is in the milk. Okay, so it is not different from the milk. So both in the traditional Samanadhikarana Viseṣaṇas, you will see the quality or the kriya, whatever is explained by that Viseṣaṇa, will be seen in that Visheshya. There is nothing, no external connection. It is all inherent. The quality or the kriya is inherent in that Visheshyam. Okay, whereas in Vyadhikarana, it is not like that. The Adhara itself is different. Okay, we will see examples. We will continue. Samanadhikaranam means Samanam Adhikaranam. As I said, the quality or the kriya that is conveyed by the Viseṣaṇam will be seen inside that Visheshya only. So it is inside the Visheshya. You can't, it's an inherent quality or an inherent kriya. Okay, that is Samanam Adhikaranam. Whereas in Vyadhikarana, it is Bhinnam, Vibhinnam Adhikaranam. Okay, so probably that Viseṣaṇa which is bringing out the quality or any specific detail will not be in that Visheshya. As we see examples, we will know. Example of the first type, Samanadhikarana Viseṣaṇani, which you have already very familiar with. Unnataha Parvataha. Okay, so Unnataha Parvataha, Sheetalam Jalam. So Unnata is bringing out the quality of the Parvata. Sheetalam is the Viseṣaṇam which is bringing out the quality of Jalam. Now Unnataha, Sheetalam, these are the Viseṣaṇa padas which you know, and Parvata and Jalam, they are the Visheshya. Now Aunatyam Parvate Drishyate. Where do you see that bhava of Unnata? Where is that tallness seen? The tallness is seen inside the mountain, in the mountain. Same way, Sheetalam Jalam, where is the coldness seen? That is seen within the Jala, right? So Visheshya Viseṣaṇa Yoho Samanaha Adharaha means they both denote the same object, right? By Unnata, here I mean the Parvata. By Sheetalam, it is a quality inherent inside the water. So both the words, both Unnata, Parvata, they denote the same thing. Sheetalam, Jalam, they denote the same thing. It is only bringing out an inherent quality. Visheshya Viseṣaṇayoho madhye abheda sambandhaha. There is a abheda sambandha, means a non-difference. Okay, how is that Viseṣaṇam and Visheshyam? What kind of relationship these two words have? What is the word Unnata and Parvata? What kind of relationship they share? It is an inherent relation. It is a abheda sambandha. There is no difference. Unnata is also about the Parvata. Parvata is Parvata again, right? So this Unnata quality is seen inside the Parvata. The Sheetalam quality is seen within the Jalam, right? So there is a abheda sambandha. Because you have a abheda sambandha, you use those words in the same vibhakti. That is why we use it in the same adhika, the same samana adhikarana means samana vibhakti. We use the same vibhakti. When I say parvatasya, I will make it unnatasya. When I say parvateshu, unnateshu, unnateshu parvateshu, right? So this is how we use the traditional visheshanas in our sentences. So maduram, madhuram geetam, sweet music. Ushnam kshiram, hot milk. Sthulaha gajaha, a very huge elephant. Pakwani phalani, ripe fruits. So these green ones are the visheshanam, the red ones are the visheshya. Again, all these are bringing out the inherent quality. So where is this madhurata seen? It is seen inside the Geetam, right? They are not two separate entities. They are kind of one and the same. Then dirgha ankani, so it's a long pencil. Sarvatra visheshya visheshanayoho madhye abedha sambandha samana vibhaktihi. Okay, so wherever you have the samana adhikarana visheshanam, samana vibhakti will always be there. Abheda sambandha, which means abheda sambandha means both denote the same thing. By madhuram, it is the music is indented, right? So it is, we are talking about the music only. By ushnam, I am talking about the milk. By sthula, I am talking about the gaja. It is only an inherent quality of that visheshya which is brought out by these words. Okay, these visheshanas are bringing out the qualities that are already present inside that visheshya. Okay, so wherever we have samanadhikarana visheshana, we will see abheda sambandha, which means both denote the same padartha, and samana vibhaktihi. That is how we use them in the sentence. And we have also learned this rule: yallingam yadvachanam yacha vibhaktihi visheshyasya tallingam tadvachanam sacha vibhaktihi visheshanasyapi. Right? So whatever vibhakti, vachana and linga of the visheshya, we use the same vachana, vibhakti and linga for the visheshana pada. Right? So all this we have already seen. How we use a visheshana padam in a sentence, we are all aware. So this is the common type of visheshana. When we say visheshana, we learn it this way only, right? So this is the common, the default types of visheshanas. Now we will come into this vyadhikarana visheshana. What is a vyadhikarana visheshana? So take for example, gramat agataha. So when I say gramat agataha, so a person has come from the village. Okay, so we are talking about somebody who has come from a village. Nagarat agataha, right? So someone who has come from the city, Nagara. When I say mama pita, my father, tava pita, your father, in these kinds of words, again, so normally we don't call these as visheshana, right? So in a normal sentence, or we don't say gramat is an visheshana for agata, but in a very, very broad sense, we do consider this gramat as a visheshanam here, right? Because the moment we say agataha, it is when we say agataha, someone has come. The next immediate question we say, like, from where? From where has he come? Right? So when I say he's a father, so father of whom? Right? So the next question comes up. So in a very broad sense, these words are also considered as visheshana. Okay, so these words are also considered as visheshana because they are giving us some detail about that visheshya. So the red ones are visheshya. So they are giving us some specific detail about the visheshya. Hence, in a very broad sense, we take them, these words also as visheshana. So gramat, nagarat, these qualifies the person who has come. Okay, again in a very broader sense. And mama tava qualifies the father. Okay, so whose father? So when we say pita, whose father will be the next question, right? So this mama and tava, they are kind of qualifying. Okay, visheshana normally gives out some, brings out some vishishta details about the visheshya, right? So here this mama and tava is bringing out some specific information about these visheshyam. So these qualifiers, these kind of qualifiers bring more details about the one qualified in a very broader sense. Okay, normally by default we don't treat these words as visheshana as such. We are only used to thinking that samana vibhakti they are taken, which is bringing out the inherent quality especially. We treat them as visheshana, but we also consider these as visheshanas. Samanam adhikaranam nasti. Here if you see in the previous case, we saw it was samana adhikarana, both ushnam and kshiram. This ushnata was seen inside the kshira. So they all have the samana ashraya. Here grama is different, agata, that person is different. Right? By agataha we are talking about somebody who has come, and grama is a village. They don't have a samana adhikarana. Okay, so there is no common ashraya for the two. Abheda sambandha api na bhavati. And there is also no abheda sambandha. Grama is not an inherent quality of that person who has come. Right? So there is a bheda is there. It is seen. It is a different entity. This is agata is different thing. But it is, the gramat is trying to bring out some detail or some specific information about this person who has come. In that broader sense, it is a Viseṣaṇa. You don't have a Samana Adhikarana, so we don't call it a Samana Adhikarana Viseṣaṇa. We call it as Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇa, because Vibhinnam Adhikaranam. There is different Ashraya for both. And there is no Abheda Sambandha. Okay, so they are not inherent or inside each other, right? So this is a different thing, this is a different thing. It's an kind of an, it is other than something which is inherent, right? So some explicit connection. So these are called as Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇa. So now we will just compare this Samanadhikarana and Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇas. So Viseṣaṇa connects to the Visheshya by Abheda Sambandha. Okay, there is always Abheda Sambandha for the Samanadhikarana Viseṣaṇani. Okay, so they always denote the same thing. Right? All these examples you can remember. So Chaturaha Ramaha, both Chatura and Rama talks about the same thing. In Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇa, no, it is not the inherent quality, right? So there is no Abheda, there is a Bheda Sambandha. Okay, there is a difference. Bheda Sambandha is shown by a different vibhakti on the Viseṣaṇa. They don't take the same vibhakti. Gramat is Panchami, right? So Gramat Ahataha or Mama Pita. Say Pita is in Prathama vibhakti, Mama is in Shashti vibhakti. They are always in different vibhaktis. They don't have a Samana Ashraya. Same Ashraya is not there. They are two different entities. They don't denote the same word. Here in Samanadhikarana Viseṣaṇa, we have both Viseṣaṇa and Visheshya agree in Vibhakti Linga and Vachana. Right? So we saw Yal Lingam Yad Vachanam Yacha Vibhakti, Tal Lingam Tad Vachanam Sacha Vibhakti for Viseṣaṇa. Right? So we saw that. So here they agree. Both the words will be in same Vibhakti, same Vachana and same Linga. It is not the case with this Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇa. Normally they are in two different vibhaktis. Okay, the Viseṣaṇa and Visheshya will be in different vibhakti. Mama Pita, you can remember that Mama is in Shashti, Pita is in Prathama vibhakti. Why are we learning about all this Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇa? Because all these Samanya Tatpurusha Samasas are made from Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇam. So this is one step digging into the, you just the detail. Okay, so normally we don't study this Vyadhikarana, Samanadhikarana Viseṣaṇas anywhere, but here we do go one step behind and see these how are these Samanya Tatpurushas formed. Okay, so we say that the base of all forming this Samanya Tatpurusha is this Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇa concept. Okay, so there is Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇa. We consider terms in different vibhaktis also as Viseṣaṇa, because they are giving out some specific detail about the Visheshya. Okay, so all the Samanya Tatpurusha, the first type of Tatpurusha is Samanya Tatpurusha, that we'll be studying now. So these are based out of these Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇam, which means you will see two words which are in different vibhakti, and one is trying to bring out some detail about the other word. It is going to act as a Viseṣaṇa. Normally we don't consider that as Viseṣaṇa, but these are the Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇas which are bringing out some detail about the Visheshya. So we'll enter into Samanya Tatpurusha now. So Samanya Tatpurushas are based out of this Vyadhikarana Viseṣaṇa, and further this Samanya Tatpurusha is divided. Again, this has subtypes. Based on the different vibhaktis on the Viseṣaṇa, Samanya Tatpurusha compounds are classified as, so we have Dvitiya Tatpurusha. So Tatpurusha, remember, it has four types. The first major type is Samanya, Karmadharaya, Dvigu and Nai Pravritaya. Okay, so these are the four major types. Now we are learning only about the first type, which is a Samanya Tatpurusha. And Samanya Tatpurushas are based on the Vyadhikarana Visheshana concept. So you will see two words, one in different vibhakti, other in the other different vibhakti, and they are like a Visheshana Visheshya in the sentence. Okay. So under Samanya, based on the vibhakti on the Visheshana. Okay, so you can have a Visheshanam in Dvitiya Vibhakti, you can have a Visheshanam in Tritiya Vibhakti, in Caturthi. So based on this, we still have these classification. Pratham Samanya Tatpurusha is still divided into Dvitiya Tatpurusha, Tritiya Tatpurusha, Caturthi Tatpurusha, Panchami Tatpurusha, Shashti Tatpurusha, Saptami Tatpurusha. Why this much? Because the first word, the Purva Pada, is a Visheshanam, and the Uttara Pada is going to be the Visheshyam, and they are going to be in Bhinna Vibhakti because they are all Vyadhikarana Visheshanas. They will be in a different Vibhakti as the Visheshya Pada, and it could be Dvitiya, Tritiya, Caturthi, any Vibhakti, right? So based on that, we are further classifying the Samanya Tatpurushas as Dvitiya, Tritiya and all that, right? So understand, Tatpurusha means Uttara Padartha Pradanaha Tatpurusha. So always in a Tatpurusha compound, Uttara Padartha is Pradana. And under Tatpurusha, we have four types. The first type is Samanya. And these Samanya Tatpurushas are based on the concept of this Vyadhikarana Visheshanam, where you will have a Visheshana, Visheshya kind of words. Okay. So the first word will be the Visheshanam, which can take any Vibhakti. Okay. So it's unlike the Samanadhikarana Visheshana, it will take a different Vibhakti. And based on that Vibhakti, you have the categories as Dvitiya Tatpurusha, Tritiya Tatpurusha and so on. We will see one by one. So Dvitiya Tatpurusha is the first category under Samanya Tatpurusha. So you will have a Dvitiyantam Subantam as a Purva Pada. Okay, so normally these Samanya Tatpurushas, except Shashti, in all the other categories, you are given a list of words as Uttara Pada. Okay, so the Uttara Padas are going to be a specific list of words, and the Purva Pada is going to be a Dvitiyantam or Tritiyantam, Chaturtyantam, whatever is under that category, you will have that kind of a word. If it's a Dvitiya Tatpurush, the Dvitiyantam will be a Purva Pada, Tritiya Tatpurusha, Tritiyantam. So the first word is decided based on the Vibhakti, right? The second word is, they are going to give you a list of words, and you can do a Samasa only in this combination. It should, the Uttara Pada should be one of those from the list. Purva Pada should be whatever is mentioned there, if it's a Dvitiyanta or Tritiyanta, whatever. So only these kinds of some words can be fused, and you can come up with a Samanya Tatpurusha compound. Okay. So initially this could be difficult, little difficult, but don't worry, as I told you, as we complete this Samasa Prakaranam, everything will become clear slowly. So Dvitiyanta Tatpurusha, the first type. So you have the Dvitiyantam Subantam. The Purva Padam is Dvitiyanta. The Uttara Padam can be any one of these. It could be Shrita, Atita, Patita, Gata, Atyasta, Prapta, Apanna. So we will have to remember these words. Of course, by going through this Samasta Padas again and again, we will definitely remember them. So not to worry. So more of Abhyasa is required. You will definitely remember the words. So Shrita means taking refuge in. Atit, here the Pratipadika form is given. Okay, so Atita, gone beyond. Patita, fallen. Gata, one who is gone. Atyastha, gone beyond, gone past. Prapta, reached. And Apanna, obtained. So we will see examples. Krishnam Shritaha is Krishna Shritaha. Krishna Shritaha is a Samasta Padam. It is a Dvitiya Tatpurusha compound. Okay, so it's called Dvitiya Tatpurusha Samasaha. Krishna Shritaha. What is the Vigraha Vakya? Krishnam Shritaha. Krishnam is a Dvitiyantam Subantam. A Subanta which is in Dvitiya Vibhakti. Okay, that is the Purva Pada. So in Dvitiya Tatpurusha Samasa, the Purva Pada has to be in Dvitiya Vibhakti. Krishnam is Dvitiya Vibhakti Ekavachanam. Shritaha is the word. Shrita is one of these Uttara Pada. So you have to see, check if this Uttara Pada is one among the list which is shown to you. Right? So Shritaha is the first word. So Krishnam Shritaha, you can make a Samasa between these two words by the niyama of Dvitiya Tatpurusha Samasa. Krishna plus Shrita. Krishna Shrita will be the final Pratipadika, and we have this in the Pullinga word. Shritaha is Pullinga, so we take Krishna Shritaha. One who has taken refuge in Krishna. Krishna Shritaha Balakaha, you can say, right? So this is Krishnam Shritaha. By Dvitiya Tatpurusha Niyama, we are coming up with the Samasta Pada Krishna Shritaha. Dukkham Atitaha. So Dukkham Atitaha is a Vigraha Vakyam. Whatever you see on the left is the Vigraha Vakya, which is bringing out the meaning of the Samasta Pada, and then the violet ones are the Samasta Padam. Okay, so Dukkham Atitaha, one who has crossed the Dukkha, one has come out of it. Okay, so Dukkham plus Atitaha, take Dukkha, the Pratipadika, Atita, Dukkatita, we do the Savarna Dirgha. Dukkatita will be the Pratipadika, and we add the Vibhakti. Dukkatitaha. Dukkatitaha means one who has come out of Dukkha. Okay, one who has come out of sufferings. Dukkatitaha. Dukkatitaha Ramaha. So mostly you can use these as further as Viseṣaṇa in your sentence. You can use a sentence where these Tatpurusha compounds can be used as a Viseṣaṇa. When I say Krishna Shritaha Balakaha, means one who, the Balaka who has taken refuge in Krishna. Dukkhatita, say Gauri, right? So again I can use it in any linga. Dukkhatita Gauri. Because it is used as a Viseṣaṇa for Gauri, I am using it as Trilinga Pada. Right? So Gauri who has come out of Dukkha, who has come out of the pain. Okay. Kupam Patitaha. So again, Kupam Dvitiyantam Padam. Patita is seen in the Uttarapada list. We have the Patita word. Kupam Patitaha. Take the Pratipadika Kupa plus Patita. Kupa Patita is a Samasta Padas Pratipadika. Then Kupa Patitaha. You can have Kupa Patitaha, Kupa Patita. Right? Any linga based on the word for which you are going to use this as Viseṣaṇa. Kupa Patitaha Bidalaha, a cat which has fallen into the well. Okay, so Kupam Patitaha, Kupa Patitaha. Griham Gataha, one who has reached house, reached his home. Griha Gataha, take Pratipadika Griha plus Gata. Griha Gata will be the Samasta Pada. Then we add the Vibhakti, Griha Gataha, one who has gone home. Griha Gataha Chatraha. Aranyam Atyastaha. Aranya plus Atyasta. So one who has gone beyond the forest, one who has gone past the forest. Aranyam Atyastaha. Aranyastyastha. So here again Aranya plus Atyasta. You will have the Savarna Dirgha Sandhi Aranyastyasyaha. Right? So one who has gone beyond the forest. Gramam Praptaha, one who has reached the Grama. So you take the Pratipadika Grama plus Prapta, Grama Praptaha. Grama Praptaha, one who has reached the village. So make sure this Uttarapada should be one of those already listed here. Shrita, Atita, Patita, Gata, Atyasta, Prapta, Apanna. These can only be the Uttarapada. So we can't simply take any Dvitiyantam Subantam and make a Dvitiya Tatpurusha with any other word, right? It is a specific list. Of course, there are little more words, but at this level we study these words. So one of the Uttarapada should be one of these words. Okay. Sukham Apannaha. So we have one who has obtained Sukha. Right, so Sukha Pratipadika plus Apanna, Savarna Dirgha Sandhi, Sukhapannaha. Sukhapanna will be the Pratipadika of the Samasta Pada. Then we add Vibhakti, Sukhapannaha, Sukhapanna, Sukhapannam, however we want, we use it. Sukhapannaha, one who has obtained happiness. So this is all Dvitiya Tatpurusha. Dvitiyantam Subantam is the Purva Padam. Any Purva Pada should be Dvitiyantam Padam. Dvitiya Pada in Dvitiya Vibhakti. And Uttarapada can only be one of these shown in the list, right? If that is the case, then we can form a Dvitiya Tatpurusha Samasa. So we move on. So simply all these Dvitiya to Saptami, it is just the rules, right? What is the list of Uttarapada? What should be my Purvapada? In which case I can form a Samasa. Okay. So Tritiya Tatpurusha, the next type. Tritiyantam Subantam. Purva Padam is going to be a Tritiyanta Subanta. Uttarapada, again I have a list of words. It could be Purva, prior or before. Sadrusha, like or similar. Sama, again like sadrisha. Tulya, equal or similar. Unarthaka, unarthaka shabda means anything which means a sense of less. Okay, so we will see examples, you will understand. Kalaha, a dispute or a quarrel. Mishra, mixed. Okay, so when we see examples, we can remember these words. Masena purvaha, masa purvaha. So masena purvaha is the vigraha vakya. Masa purvaha is a samasta pada. So how did I come up with the word masa purva? Because we have a tritiyantam subantam and uttara pada is purva. Okay, again here the rule is purva pada should be the tritiyanta subanta, any subanta which is in tritiya vibhakti. Uttara pada should be one of these in the list, shown in the list. Okay, so masena purvaha, masa purvaha. We don't hear take the pratipadika masa purva, masa purva. That is all. So making the word is easy. Remove the vibhaktis and add it together. Masa purvaha means earlier by a month or old, by a month old. Matra sadrusham. So we say matra sadrusham, matra sadrusham. So means similar to the mother. Okay, matra sadrusham. Matra is the pratipadika. Matra is a tritiya vibhakti. The pratipadikam is matru, right? It is rikaranta strilinga matru shabdaha, right? So matru and sadrisha, matra sadrisha. Pitra samaha. So we have pitra samaha. Pitru is the pratipadika. Sama, pitru samaha. You can make a samasta pada. Pitru samaha. So balakaha pitra samaha asti or something. So when you say, you can, instead of using pitra samaha, you can use a samasta pada. Pitru samaha balakaha. Right? So just again, tritiyantam, you can make a samasa only if the uttara pada is one of these words. Ekena unam. Less by one. Unam means less and ekena unam, less by one. So we take eka plus una, a plus u, we do o, guna sandhi happens. So whenever we join the pratipadika, as I told you, sandhi is compulsory. When you try to form a samasta pada, take the pratipadika of purva pada, take the pratipadika of the uttara pada, compulsorily you have to do the sandhi. Samhita samase nitya. Remember that. So eka plus una will be ekona, right? So then you add the vibhakti, ekonaha or ekona, eko, whatever. That depends on the word or how your usage in the usage of the word in the sentence. Ekonam means less by one. Vacha kalahaha. So vacha kalahaha. So we take the pratipadika vak kalaha, vak kalaha. Okay, vak kalahaha. Gudena mishraha. So gudena mishraha, guda mishraha. So take some annam or something which is mixed with the guda. Guda is jaggery. So gudena mishraha, guda mishraha, something you can say supa or whatever, something which is mixed with guda. Guda mishraha. So again, if you notice the uttara pada, it is purva, sadrusha, sama, una, kalaha, mishra. Okay, so this is one type of tritiya tatpurusha. Tritiya tatpurusha, this is one type. You have two more types. Or you can have a tritiyantam subantam which could be a hetu vachaka. Hetu means a karana. Okay, so it is a karana and you can make a tritiya tatpurusha samasa with any subanta. So in this case, vidyaya manyaha. So one who is honored. Okay, this manyaha, for the karana for this manyaha is vidya, right? If you have the first word giving a reason, right, for the uttara pada, then we can do this kind of tritiya tatpurusha samasa, provided the first word is in tritiya vibhakti. Okay, and you take any subanta as uttara pada. So this is one type. So first type we saw tritiyantam subantam with a specific list of words like we saw in the Dvitiya tatpurusha. The second type of tritiya subantam, tatpurusha subanta, tatpurusha samasa is this way. The first word will be a hetu, a karana. Buddhya hinaha. So hinaha means is devoid of, right? And what is the reason for that is buddhi. He doesn't have buddhi. So buddhya hinaha, buddhi hinaha. Balena hinaha, balahinaha. So we say devoid of strength. So this first word acts as a reason. Okay, so it's a hetu vachaka. In this case, we can do a tritiya tatpurusha. So this is a second case of tritiya tatpurusha. We still have one more case. Okay, one more category you can say. So Tritiya Tatpurusha, one was specific list of words and Tritiyantam Subantam. Second one, any Subanta is Uttarapada, but the first word should be a Hetu Vachaka with regards to that second word. Third type, Tritiyantam Subantam, which is denoting a Karta or a Karanam. Either the Tritiyantam Subantam is denoting a person, the doer, or the instrument which is helpful in completing something, completing the Kriya. Okay, so it would be either a Karta or a Karana, and the Tap Pratyayanta. Okay, so Tap Pratyayanta people have studied already. This is the Kridanta. So you take a Dhatu, you add the Tap Pratyayanta. Examples, Patitaha. Okay, so Patidhatu, when you add Ta, Patitaha is the word. Patitaha means that which is read, right? So those kind of words, the Ta Pratyayanta words are the Uttarapada, and the first word can be a Karta or a Karana. Example, Valmikina Virachitam, Virachitaha. So we take Virachita is a Tapratyayanta pada. So people who have not studied this Tapratyayanta, do not worry for now. Just go through the examples and try to understand how to make the Samasta pada. That is enough for now. We will be learning them later. Okay, so we will be learning the grammar part later. So Valmikina Virachitam, Valmiki Virachitam. That which is composed by Valmiki. So here we can make a Samasa between the words Valmikina and Virachitam. Okay, so instead of using two different words Valmikina Virachitam, we can simply say Valmiki Virachitam. Again, Samasta pada should always be written without space in between. It should be a single word. Valmiki Virachitam Kavyam. Okay, this again comes as an adjective for Kavyam. What does it mean? Valmikina Virachitam. So first one, the Tritiya word is a Karta, right? Who has done that Rachana Kriya, the composition? It is Valmiki. So the second word is denoting some action, and the first word is denoting the person who has done, the Karta. So here there is a Karta and some action. So you do the Tritiya Tatpurusha Samasa. Devena Nirmitam. So built by or constructed by the Deva. So Deva Nirmitam. Again the first word is a Karta for that action Nirmita. Now Parashuna Chinnaha. So now we have Chinnaha. So Chididhatu Tapratyayanta is Chinna, meaning to cut, right? So cutting action is told by this Chinna. Now what is the instrument? What has helped you cut? It is the Parashu, the axe. Okay. So this Parashu is a Karana. Karana means that which is instrumental in helping you or in help you complete the action. So Parashu is helping you complete the Chedana Kriya. So this Parashu is a Karana. So Parashuna Chinnaha, Parashu Chinnaha. Okay, so that which is cut by an axe, you can say Parashu Chinnaha. Parashu Chinnaha Vrikshaha. A Vriksha which is cut by an axe. Nakhaihi Bhinnaha. So again Bhinnaha is Tap Pratyayanta of Bhididhatu, to break. So Nakhaihi, Nakhas are acting as a Karana or an instrument to complete the action of breaking. So Nakha is Karana. Nakhaihi Bhinnaha, Nakha Bhinnaha is a Samasta pada. So broken by nails. Okay. So this kind of Tritiya Tatpurusha is also possible. So under Tritiya Tatpurusha we are basically seeing three types, right? The first type is you have the Tritiyantam Subantam, which is a specific list of words, Purva, Sadrusha, Sama, Kalaha, all that. The second type, it should be a Hetu Vachaka. The Tritiyantam Subantam should be a Hetu Vachaka, a Karana, and related to that second word, Subanta. Karana basically for that second word, describing that second word. In that case, we do a Tritiya Tatpurusha. And third case is, the first word is a Karta. It is indicating a Karta or a Karana for the Kriya told by the Tat Pratyayanta word, which is the Uttarapada. In these three cases, we can say it, we can do a Tritiya Tatpurusha Samasa. Okay. Caturthi Tatpurusha, again we have a list of words. So we have the Purva Padam is Chaturtyantham Padam. Uttarapada Bali Hita Sukha Rakshita. So Bali means an offering, giving. Okay, so Bhuta Bali, all that we say, right? So it's offering. Hita means beneficial, something which is good for. Hita. Sukha is, pleasing, and Rakshita, protected. Bhutebhyaha balihi. So Bhutebhyaha balihi, Bhuta balihi. So offering to the Bhutas, the beings, that is Bhuta bali. So here you have the word bali. So whenever you see the bali as Uttarapada, if you have a Chaturtyanta Subanta as Purvapada, we do a Samasa. Bhuta bali is a very common example for Chaturthi Tatpurusha. Rashtraya hitam. So we have the hita. So these are the specific Uttarapadas. Okay, the first word should be Purvapada, should be in Chaturthi Vibhakti. The second word Uttarapada should be one of these shown in the specifically shown in the list: Bali, Hita, Sukha, or Rakshita. So Rashtraya hitam, Rashtra hitam. In that case, you do the Samasa. Take the Pratipadika form, simply add the words and say Rashtrahitam, good for the nation. Nayanabhyam Sukham, Nayana Sukham. So again, Sukha is the Uttarapada and Nayana is the Subanta in Chaturthi Vibhakti. So you can make a Samastapada, Nayana Sukham, happy or pleasing to the eyes. Gave Rakshitam. So you have a Chaturtyanta Go Shabda, Gave, Chaturthi Vibhakti, and Rakshita, the Uttarapada. So Go Rakshitam. Go Rakshitam Grasam means again these will act as a Viseṣaṇa. When I say Go Rakshitam Grasam, that grass which is protected for the sake of the cows. Okay. So again Chaturthi Vibhakti, only these specific words. Okay. We can't make a Samasa if the word is not, Uttarapada is not given in the list. Okay, so we should be very careful when making a Samasa. We should remember the rules for Samanya Tatpurusha. What is the Uttarapada list? Only if the word caters to something in that list, then you can make a Samasa. Otherwise, we are not supposed to simply join two words and say, I will come up with this Samastapada. It is not a valid word. If they don't, if they are not governed by these rules, then we can't make a Samastapada and claim that it is a valid word. Then this is the first case for Chaturthi Vibhakti with the list of words. Just like Tritiya, we have one case with the list of words. The second case, Chaturtyantasya Tadartha Vachakena Prakriti Vikriti Bhave Eva Samasaha. This is the second kind of rule. So we have a Prakriti Vikriti Bhava. Okay, so we have a Chaturtyanta Pada and we have one more Subanta as Uttarapada. Now that should be a Tadartha Vachaka. Tadartha Vachaka. Tasmai idam is Tadartham. Okay, so now we will have two words and there is some kind of transformation. Okay, some kind of transformation, and one word is getting converted to the Artha which is conveyed by the another word. We will see example. Kundalaya Hiranyam. So Kundalaya Hiranyam. Hiranyam means gold. Kundala is earring. Now this gold is meant to make this Kundala. If that is the case, if you see a transformation, if a transformation is meant in the sentence, then we say Kundala Hiranyam. Kundala Hiranyam, gold for earring. Only if there is a Prakriti Vikriti Bhava. So Chaturtyantasya Tadartha Vachaka. Tadartha means that which a word which will indicate something for which say Hiranya. In this case, this is Hiranya and this Kundala is meant to be formed from the Hiranya. Okay, so there is something which you will make out of that word. So in that cases, and when there is a transformation, when one object is getting or is used for making that other object, right, it is getting transformed. Previously it was a bar of gold, now it has transformed into a earring. If such transformation is seen, then we do the Chaturthi Tatpurusha Samasa. Kundalaya Hiranyam, Kundala Hiranyam. Grihaya Daru. So Grihaya Daru. So there is this Daru wood. Okay, so we bring say a lot of woods and we make something for the Griha. It could be a chair or a sofa, that is transformed. That Daru is transformed into some component of that Griha. In that case, if the Prakriti Vikriti Bhava is seen, then we make a Chaturthi Tatpurusha. Compound, we can say Griha Daru. So Griha, take the Pratipadika, Daru the Pratipadika, Griha Daru. Here, Prakriti Vikriti Bhava means a transformation. Prakriti is that crude or the fundamental form, okay, that crude form, say Hiranya, which is then transformed into Kundala. That transformation is important. If you say Balakaya Kandukaha, if I say Balakaya Kandukaha, can I make a Samasa? No. Why? There is no Prakriti Vikriti Bhava. The Kanduka is for the boy to play, okay, but it is not going to get transformed into Balaka, right? So there should be this transformation scene. Okay, one should be in a Prakriti state which will now get some Vikara and change into something. If that is the case, then we do the Tatpurusha Samasa. Not everywhere, wherever you have a Chaturthi and for the purpose. If the Tadartha is meant, you can't simply make a Samasa. The Tadartha should be there, plus there should be a Prakriti Vikriti Bhava. Okay, that thing should have got transformed into something meant for it. In that case, we make a Chaturthi Tatpurusha Samasa. This is the second type. So these examples, commonly the only very few examples we will see. Then the third type, Chaturthyantam Subhantam plus Artha Shabda. Okay, so Purva Pada is a Chaturthanta Subhanta and Artha. Okay, here Artha can mean, Artha has got lot of meanings in Samskrita. Artha can mean a meaning. Okay, what is a Shloka Artha? When we say it is Artha, the meaning itself. Then you can also mean Dhana. Artha can mean wealth, right? Or it can also mean Prayojana. Okay, so Artha can, by the word Artha, we also mean Prayojana. So here in this case, in Chaturthi Tatpurusha Samasa, if the Artha Pada means a Prayojana, then you can make a Samasta Pada along with a Chaturtyanta Subhanta. Say Dvijaya Ayam. So this is the Vigraha Vakyam, Dvijaya Ayam. Okay, this is actually a Viseṣaṇa. Dvijaya Ayam, this Vigraha gives the compound Dvijarthaha. You see this Artha Pada in the Samasta Padam, right? You have Dvija plus Artha, Dvijartha. But whereas you don't see this Artha in the Vigraha Vakya. So normally we have been seeing Vigraha Vakyas which will normally have both the Purva Pada and Uttara Pada that we have in the Samasa. Sitayaha Patihi, Sita Patihi. So we see the Purva Pada in the Vigraha Vakya. We also see the Uttara Pada in the Vigraha Vakya. So those are the normal kinds of Vigraha Vakya. The one specifically seen here, the Dvijarthaha, is Dvijaya Ayam. This is a kind of Vigraha Vakya where you don't see the actual Pada in the Samasta Pada. You don't see the Uttara Pada Artha. Though the Samasta Pada has got two words, Dvija and Artha. Dvijarthaha. That is the Samasta Padam. But you don't see the Artha Pada, which is the Uttara Pada, in your Vigraha Vakya. So this is called as a Nitya Samasa. Okay, so we call such cases as Nitya Samasa. They are, and their Vigraha Vakya is called as Aswapada Vigraha. Okay, so Swapada Vigraha means the Samasa will have its own Padas in the Vigraha Vakyam. Right? It will have its own Pada. So Rama Lakshmanau means Ramaha cha Lakshmanaha cha. The Vigraha Vakya will always have the Pada that you see in the Samasta Pada. That is Swapada Vigraha. Here you see it is a Aswapada Vigraha. You don't see the Pada that you have seen in the Samasta Pada. So these are one special category. So Dvijaya Ayam Dvijarthaha. So I know we are running out of time. I will stop after this Chaturthi Tatpurusha. So Dvijaya Ayam Dvijarthaha Mashapupaha. Dvijarthaha Mashapupaha means the Mashapupa meant for the Dvija, the Brahmana. Dvijaya Iyam Dvijartha Rotika. Again this Dvijartha Samastapada is going to be used as a Viseṣaṇa. Right? Dvijartha simply means for the Brahmana. Depending on what is offered for the Brahmana, this will take the Linga. If it is a Mashapupa, Dvijarthaha Mashapupaha Pullingaha. If it is a Rotika, Dvijartha Rotika. The Rotika meant for the Brahmana. Dvijaya Idam in neuter gender. Dvijartham Payasam. So the Payasa which is meant for the Brahmana. Right? So Vigraha Vakye Artha Shabdasya Shravanam na bhavati. Samasta Pada has got the Artha. So this Chaturthi Tatpurusha is Chaturtyanta Subhanta plus Artha Shabda. So the Artha Shabda is not heard in the Vigraha Vakya. So this is called a Nitya Samasa. Visheshyam Ashritya Samasta Padasya Lingam Bhavati. So here this Vijartha is going to be a Viseṣaṇam for some other word in the sentence. So based on that, that is why we are giving 3 vigrahas: Dvijaya ayam, Dvijaya iyam, Dvijaya idam. So one in masculine, one in feminine, and one in the neuter gender. So Visheshyam ashritya samasta padasya lingam. So Dvijartha means for the Brahmana. Dvijartha, Dvijartham, all this means for the Brahmana. Okay, so I'll stop here. I'll check if there are any questions in the QA box. Okay, yes, audible. Sanskrit. Suggest one good book for fundamental knowledge. Someone has asked a good book for fundamental knowledge. So yes, I will put a message in the WhatsApp group regarding the pustakas. Okay. So Dvija, what is Dvija? Dvija is Brahmana. Okay. So Dvija here means a Brahmana. So Pratipadikam, yes. So Pratipadikam is Vach. So by a Vyakarana Niyama, it becomes Kakara. Okay. So Vakkalaha. Okay. That is also true. So that's why I said when you join 2 Pratipadikas, there are different grammar rules, okay, which can make some changes in your Purva Pada. Okay, so Rajan plus Putra. So Rajnya Putraha, you have Rajan plus Putra, but when we make the Samasta Pada, we leave out the Nakara. It is Raja Putra. Same way, there are rules that apply. Same way with Vakkalaha. The change is due to the Vyakarana Niyama. Astu. So will these slides be slides will be uploaded in the portal. Okay, for now the slides will be uploaded till the course ends. We will only be uploading the PDFs in the website, so you can access our course and you can see them. So I will upload an abhyasa today, just you can try. What about Namaha when we do Archana Amba? When you use Namaha, you have to use Chaturthyanta Pada. Okay, so Lakshmiai Namaha, Vishnave Namaha, Gurave Namaha. With Namaha, we always use the Chaturthyanta Pada. Okay, so there is no Samasa. So Samasas again, only if it is governed by these rules, you can make. Otherwise, we cannot make with any Chaturthyanta Pada, any Uttara Pada, you can't make a Samasa. Please read the rules. So these rules are important because only catering to these we can come up with Samasta Pada. We can't simply take 2 related words and come up with a Samasta Pada. So these niyamas should be remembered, especially the Uttara Pada. If it is not belonging to that list of Uttara Pada, we should not be making a Samasa. Better use it as 2 different words. Astu. Dhanyavada. If there are any doubts apart from these in the chat box, you can raise your hands. Otherwise, we can stop. Yes. I lower all your hands. Please raise your hand if you have a question. Meenal Mahodaya.
Namo Namo Mahadaya.
Namaste.
Namaste. Can the speed be little less? It was a bit fast today. And
Okay.
second, Masha Pupaha iti.
The vada, we say.
Okay.
The one which you make in the for vadai, we say in Tamil. How do I say? The one with urud dal. No?
Okay.
The round one which you make. You fry
Okay.
in oil with the urud dal.
Okay, vada sambar.
Vada, yeah, exactly. That is
Okay,
masha.
vadai.
Yeah,
Okay.
vadai. Yes.
And Mahadaya, thoda slow karenge, please, next time.
Yes. Okay, definitely.
It was very fast.
I mean, the rules are also, I mean, for the first beginners, I definitely agree. It's kind of too much, too many rules, yes. But yes, I will slow down, but we will have to catch up with some speed so that we know. We have time at the end to revise.
No problem. We'll refer to the video.
Definitely. Please, first time learners, please go through the video again. Please learn the rules. Sure. Yes. I will also slow down from my side. Yeah, definitely.
Bahut shobhanam, bahut sundar tha, Mahadaya. Very, very beautifully explained. Thank you. Dhanyavada.
Dhanyavada. Astu. So, we'll meet next Wednesday. Dhanyavadaha. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। धन्यवादः।